Welcome to More Than Meets These Guys. This podcast is a journey through Transformers from the beginning of the animated series with two old friends coming at it from different perspectives. Together, we will go episode by episode with the occasional extra to look at how the show holds up or if it is a trap of nostalgia. We'll be looking at all things involved in the episode, whether there were real-world factors that crept into the writing or if the episode was typical afternoon cartoon fodder. I'm Evan. I'm the lifelong fan who's familiar with all aspects of the franchise, while Ed here is familiar with Transformers, but wasn't really something he took to when he was younger. So thanks so much, everyone, for being here. And Ed, how you doing this week, man?
I am doing well. How are you this week?
Better, man. We had a little bout of flu go through the house, but we're aces now.
We had, we had a similar over here.
Oh,
But hey,
kids.
so kids, right? So
Yeah.
speaking of kids, I was
Yeah.
talking to my son this weekend, and he asked me to get him a new water bottle, and I was confused because we have 7,000 water bottles in my house.
Not the one you want.
Not the one he wanted. I was confused. I was very confused because earlier this year he was really big into Dragon Ball Z. Or I guess actually it was Dragon Ball Super, but
Okay.
close enough. He was big into the Dragon Ball franchise. He was an enthusiast for Dragon Ball. So we bought him a Dragon Ball water bottle, and he was over the moon about this, and as he should have been, which is
Get his
very cool water
Sunzu
bottle.
beans in there.
What's that?
Get his little Sunzu beans
Yeah,
with that.
it has those
Drop
pouch
them
for Sunzu beans. Yeah,
Perfect.
right. So they don't fizz up too much. But see now he's really big into Demon Slayer. Is his new thing into here. So he really wants a Demon Slayer water bottle. And so I asked him about this, and he just tells me he just doesn't like Dragon Ball anymore, and now he likes Demon Slayer. And I know that kids are a fickle lot, and at that single digit ages like that. But that got me thinking about stuff that as an adult, things that you used to like, but now you've sort of you've revisited it, now you've left it behind, and you realize that it's not as good as you thought it was. But see, the thing, I don't think that I think that he just burned himself out on Dragon Ball because he watched all of it.
That's a lot. That's a lot to watch.
Yeah, that's a lot. And so I think he was just moving on to something else was the thing. But I mean, have you ever? Do you have any? Anything that you at some point you were, man, I enjoy this thing. I'm a fan of this thing, and then you at some point you had a revelation. And you're like, wait a minute, that's not as good. It's not as good as I thought it was.
Well, I mean, you're talking about cartoons and whatnot, or anime. I remember. Yeah, we'll okay. Well, let me sidestep that completely. So when we were younger, my brother was a huge Conan the Barbarian fan. And I watched it and I liked it a lot, but it wasn't, it was the movie that came out when I was younger was Conan the Destroyer, man. And I thought that was great. I watched, I think it was one of those things that came on like HBO in the afternoon, like every afternoon for a while.
Right.
We had HBO, and I was like, man, I knew that movie by heart. And, years go on and you go back to it and it came on like, I don't know, AMC or something one day. And I watched it and it's terrible.
It's real bad.
It's real bad.
It is. Yeah. It is.
Barbarian holds up.
Oh, the Conan the Barbarian is still
fantastic.
Awesome. That's a fantastic.
Destroyer was terrible.
Yeah, Destroyer. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know, man. I don't even know that it was ever good because every time, even when I was a kid, and I saw it, I was like, I just want to watch Conan again.
It was okay. Maybe you didn't think it was good. Maybe you were a more enlightened child than I. But I mean, it's also same thing with that whole time they had a lot of these movies coming out. God, another one that was awful, but had a lot of I guess young teenage, like late single digit years hype was Red Sonja. And and that was one of those things that came on TBS every afternoon or
all the time. Yeah.
And like I watched the thing, and my brother, I remember he came in the room one day and watched it. He's going like, you're watching this again? This is bad. And it's terrible. It's worse than Conan the Destroyer.
It is very bad.
It's really bad.
Speaking of TBS and movies that I thought were really great when I was 7, and you tried to watch again later on, you're like, this is a match. How did I ever like it? Beastmaster. Beastmaster used to come on every day. Like every day Beastmaster was on.
You Mark Thieves.
Man, it was so. I did have ferrets when I was a kid.
See there, everyone wanted a ferret then because it was Kodo and Podo.
Yep.
That's a horrible movie.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, he
Dispatcher 2 is even worse, but
oh, I never watched him. What was the actor's name? He was in V, I think. Also, he's in all this little straight to TV or whatever miniseries that were like sci-fi or fantasy. What was his name again?
that would be Marc Singer.
Marc Singer. That's right. He looked
Do
like he
not.
belonged in a one-hit wonder 80s hair metal band.
Oh yeah, no, he did look
Yeah.
like he was. It would have been like a German band too. And but hey, kids, don't meet your idols because that dude is unsavory these days.
Yeah, I've got a few I've met that are the same way with me. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to alienate anyone. But we'll just say Hercules. Anyways,
he's probably real good friends with Marc Singer.
I'm sure he probably is.
But I've touched on this in the past with Voltron, and I've spoken enough about Voltron. I don't want to touch on that. I'm done talking about Voltron. But I'm about to slaughter a sacred cow over here, though, and I am going to say I'm going to bring up Fight Club.
What, you're not an angsty 20-year-old?
Bro, okay, so that was something that when I was like 24, I went and saw it in the theater, and I walked out, and I was like, man, that is profound. Like, that means something right there, dude. That is that like there's layers and layers of things going on with this, and and I'm walking out of the theater, and I'm like, I know something that all these people don't do. And I'm like, man, I felt much cooler than everybody because I had seen this, and now I'm awakened and all this. And
you're the only guy in that theater understood this true message, bringing down society. That's the only way you can exceed.
Well, the people that hadn't seen it yet, like I'm walking out, and they're walking in, and I'm like, I know something you don't know, dude. I'm in the club,
brother. You don't know what you're about to hit.
So like, I'm 24 and I go out, I buy the book, and I'm like, I'm all into Chuck Palahniuk, and I'm like, oh, this guy is the best, right? This dude just gets it. This dude is just like, he's just visceral. And as things go, it fades a bit, and you realize it's been like 10 years since you've watched or read it or whatever, and you go back and you're like, man, what was I thinking? Like, this is the most pretentious piece of trash I've ever seen. And the thing is, I don't even know if it's just Fight Club itself, or if it's how people that grabbed onto that movie and decided it's some kind of a manifesto. Like,
there's
a lot of people that did that. And and I think people that idolize that movie as some sort of like mission statement completely missed the point of Fight Club. Like,
yeah, I mean, maybe. I think on the surface area they're like, they see like, well, nowadays, it's hard to own a house, it's hard to get ahead, and there's this top percentile that you're down here, you'll never be there, that sort of thing. You can look at it that way, but in a way, yeah, I there's so much more of a message there. But honestly, you lose it as we get older. Like, yeah, I kind of felt that way when I was in my 20s. Now, yeah, to me, I liked watching the whole switcheroo, but now the secret of the movie. There's no big reveal anymore. It's like watching the Haunting of the Hill House. The big reveal. It's not as interesting anymore to watch.
Well, to an extent, sometimes, yeah. I mean, there's movies that have a twist, like The Prestige, that I think get better. I think I guess better the more you watch it. But, that's just me. But I'll say though, I usually have a different phenomenon. I'm not going to go into it because we don't have time. But I usually have a different phenomenon where I think something's good, and then after a while, I'm like, oh no, this is bad. But then at some point down the road, I reflect even further, and then I come to the conclusion that no, actually, this was good all along, and I needed a little bit of time away from this thing. Or maybe there was just a period of time where I was just an idiot, and I don't know. So but I could talk about those things. I have 1,000 examples of that. I can talk about that all day long. So
I'll be honest with you though, with that whole example, going back and rewatching the original series from the beginning, there were some things I thought was gonna be a lot cringer. I think this is gonna come in season 2, but honestly, for the most part, I'm just enjoying the ride of this. So I got to the point where I thought the coolest thing was younger. When I was teenage years, I wanted this kind of edgier stuff. Then I saw the series that came on Netflix, the War for Cybertron series, and that was so melodramatic, and everyone's very serious. They sigh a lot, and they don't understand how the war is tearing this world apart. And I go back and watch this. I'm like, I like this. I like some episodic fun things that you still have a serious tone to it, but it's not so melodramatic. God, that kind of stuff just grates on me.
Did you was there a time that you ever just thought you didn't like Transformers, that you were just like, it's just
Well,
like, I'm
you
done with
know,
that? Or like, I know that your interest is kind of, like waxed and waned, but was there ever a point where you
yeah.
were just like, no, actually Transformers is bad? Like, did you ever come to a point like that?
There was a time when I was probably like, I don't know, 13 or 14, and you grow out of it. Like I was like one of the last kids I knew of who stopped, wanting that kind of stuff. And then I think I was like 16 or whatever, and I got a friend of mine to he had a Blockbuster card, I did not, to rent me the Transformers the movie, the one that we haven't watched yet, and on VHS from Blockbuster, and I loved it. I was like, oh my god, this is fun, this is great. You get that kind of feeling again. Okay, like I understand, I'm good with this again. And he kind of made fun of me, but he was cool about it. He's like, hey, did you enjoy your Transformers? I'm like, yeah, man, I did. And I had a old VHS camcorder, and I did own those illegal copies. I only own like 4 or 5 versions of it now, but I mean, then you couldn't do that. So I like
Oh,
copied
you
it
did
to
it.
a camcorder, your VHS player, got my own little.
Wait, you filmed the TV, or
No,
you
no,
actually?
no.
I
It
was like,
didn't
you pulled
have
it.
didn't have one of the right protection things inside the camcorder, so you could hook it up together.
Okay. I thought you meant you
I
pulled like the
Man,
dudes
I was a
like
pirate. Pirate.
well, like, you ever see like a Japanese bootleg from back in the day where there's like it
Oh,
was just like a dude with a camcorder on a
terrible.
tripod. That, like, my first version of Akira was that, and I
Oh,
was like
really? I
really
actually,
yeah, like, I was
yeah,
really
I
happy with
used
that.
to trade tapes with someone who was had lived there for a while, and they would have the same kind of stuff. You're just like watching, going like, hey, yeah, you're listening a lot of clarity because it was already bad enough clarity.
Right.
It was rough.
You just see a dude get up and walk there in front of the camera, and you're like,
Yep.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hey, but yeah. But anyway, hey, Fire on the Mountain. I don't
Yeah.
have
Let's do
a.
this.
I couldn't come up with a segue for that
It's
one
really
this time.
none.
Yeah, it would have been real hard, but
I'll say this
uh,
though. I linked the in our Discord. I linked the original script from the Sunbow archive. Which, by the way, everyone listening, Sunbow, the company that does the animation for all this GI Joe and a lot of other shows, released the archive of all these scripts with like handwritten notes and everything on them. So then when they change scripts, they're scanned in and they're in the Sunbow archive. You can look at all the
no
scripts for
kidding.
all these shows. Yeah, it's
That's
really
awesome.
cool. This one, you're using the name Jetfire, just like we talked about on Fire in the Sky.
Right. Okay.
They changed it to Skyfire, but everything's as referring to the character is written as Jetfire. So that
Oh,
was kind of interesting though. But
good
yeah,
to know.
man, we start out with
Yeah.
villain music.
Oh, before
Oh,
that, this is a Douglas Booth episode.
oh, nice.
Another. I'm sorry, Baron Douglas Booth.
Dougie Booth.
We've covered extensively in the
Mhm.
past, and I don't want to talk about him anymore,
Nice
except for
Barony.
the fact. Well, his Barony. But I did find another show that he wrote called Roswell Conspiracies:
Ooh,
Aliens, Myths, and Legends.
I've heard of that. It's on like the Discovery History Channel, one of those two.
That's what I thought too, because
Oh,
I saw that and I was like, oh, that just sounds like one of those low rent like alien autopsy
yeah.
show, like X-Files cash-in shows from the 90s, because there was a billion of those things
Oh,
out back
dude,
then, and everybody
constantly.
had those things, like the real alien autopsy. But no, this was an animated series that ran from 99 to 2001, so
Really?
it was like X-Files for 12-year-olds.
That's kind of cool.
It is, and I'm totally fascinated by this, and
Huh.
I kind of want to see it. So, but anyway, yeah. So
Yeah.
we start with villain music. And
Dougie Booth. So yeah, we start with the villain music. Da, da. It's almost like the Cobra music. Da, 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 da.
it, it is.
And so we have we have um we have Braun and Trailbreaker driving, and actually no, before that you have Starscream and Thundercracker coming in low over this like foundry or something like that, and then
I
you
like a
down
power. I thought it
below.
was a power plant at first, but yeah, it was. I guess it was. I guess we come to find out it was a foundry. So
Yeah, I think it was foundry. Yeah, it looked like a power plant though. You would know. So yeah, you have Braun and Trailbreaker, who is I swear is this still the Chris Christopherson of the Autobots? Maybe I'm just spinning my flywheels, but those jets look sickeningly familiar.
he says he says he'd recognize those slimy contrails anywhere.
Yeah.
The slimy contrails. Yeah, this dude's awesome. So so they break into this, or so yeah, there's a little fight, and the Decepticons break into this foundry here, and you can tell these guys are power plant workers because they're not dressed like Sparkplug and Spike. They're not wearing
Yeah.
yellow boots and white t-shirts. They don't have a foreman either. Nobody's there's no union rep in this place, and I don't see any mustaches in here either.
Yeah, so they're in there grabbing steel and their I-beams, and Thundercracker sounds like the only Union member in there.
He
No earth-made steel is strong enough. He says something. It has this accent. It's not right. Almost like he's like Pennsylvania steelworker accent. I can't quite get it right, but yeah, he has his accent is his way he talks is you expect him to be wearing a hard hat and you like walking on steel beams in a skyscraper above in Manhattan or something like that.
Yeah, he's got one of those old school metal lunchboxes or something. Like that.
Dude, totally. And so Braun breaks out with the steel dad joke. He's like,
I was taking notes. What did he say?
He was like, he said along the lines of us. They're not something. They're Steelers, and I do mean steel. I'm actually really digging Braun this episode. He's fun.
I'm gonna get to that in a bit. Yeah, Braun was real cool in this one. So they leave, and Starscream reveals that he's had these chest missiles the whole time. He's got he went total like armored Veritech on it.
Yeah,
and this was cool and good. But then he also makes some bad jokes and blows the place up.
The house down.
That's what I call bringing the house down. Like Starscream, but he says it with the super cool like Cobra Commander voice.
Because it is him.
I like that. I like that a whole lot. And then, so we cut to a pyramid.
Oh yeah, Incan pyramid.
Incan pyramid, a ziggurat, I believe is the.
Yes, ziggurat is correct.
So Egyptian lover is just like running his mouth, and I can't understand anything he's saying. And
he's got this cool device on his arm where he's like getting readings of something.
He's got what he's actually reading. He's got a tricorder there. Or something. He does. Like he borrowed it from Star Trek.
Fantastic.
This was cool. He just scans it, and then he opens the door, and they just walk 10 feet into a giant green crystal. So
what is it with this show and green crystals?
Apparently 2/3 of the Earth is made up of green crystals.
I had no idea.
Dude, so now it's just sealed that the Earth's composition is different in Transformers than it is in the real world.
Okay, obviously, because if you remove these green crystals, magma shoots out. It's plugging magma.
Something bad. Yeah, exactly. Something bad happens if you mess with green crystals. Stop doing it. Just don't.
Every time they move the green crystal, stuff happens. Yeah, so he picks up the green crystal. He's like marveling at it, and magma shoots on a column. It doesn't fall anywhere. It's just shooting up. I don't know where it's going.
Was it magma? Was it magma, or was it? It just seemed like it was like rainbow energy or something. Some kind of cosmic rays were like.
It was a tunnel down to the Earth's molten core.
Okay.
And then like the green crystal was plugging it. It was like a cork in a bottle. He pulls the green crystal out and it goes straight up. I don't know.
I guess it was magma, but it seemed like it was like Jack Kirby energy. It was like something from
it was probably the Power Cosmic, honestly.
Like New God stuff was coming out of the Earth or something like that. So
I'm thinking of those covers now with that Jack Kirby art.
There's black bubbles everywhere.
Oh man.
Kirby crackle.
Yes. So they go and take it to the roof where Starscream has built this big, I don't know, it looks like fat can with a little nozzle at the end of it with the steel he stole.
Oh, and he built a 50s ray gun.
He did. Oh, it was fantastic. But the best part about it is all that Megatron has to do is open the back up and put the crystal in, shut it again. That's all he has to do, and it works.
Yeah, they knew what they were getting. They knew exactly what they were getting out of this heist. So. But it blows up, and I guess they needed. That was the reason they were stealing the steel. To build this thing. But like, why? Let's back up a little bit. Why did they need to steal? Why do they need to steal the steel? Because like they have a ship that's presumably is made out of steel also, but like there's any number of thousands of vehicles and power plants and bridges and stuff that they've wrecked that they can just like there's girders just laying around and transform.
All right, man. Apparently you're not a union man, and the Rust Belt is important to the U.S. economy. Come on, man. Pennsylvania. I'm thinking like they're thinking union first.
Okay.
Of course, they're actually getting the steel from somewhere in Peru, I guess. But whatever.
What was it? What? Yeah, I guess it.
I don't know. It's South American, Central American steel. I don't know. Megatron's trash talking Starscream's frame for the cannon he built out of the stolen steel. Yeah, that's the best part. He's like real sarcastic. But Laserbeak realizes that Sky Spy, which by the way, cut back to this. Braun and Trailbreaker go back to the Autobot HQ, and they tell him what's going on. And Spike is the only one who goes, "Hey, let's launch the satellite. Let's see what's going on." And they're all like, "Yeah, good idea." So that's why they keep them around, because they have no imagination.
I guess no one thinks to just keep that thing out all the time.
Well, it gets lonely, man. I don't know.
Maybe it does. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
But yeah, so Laserbeak sees this thing, and he's broadcasting back to Megatron.
Yeah,
but now he's changed it up. He's changed the polarity. Now he's broadcasting with parentheses and not with concentric circles anymore. He's blasting parentheses off his head to the left and the right.
Oh, I see. But
he's got variable frequencies. This is cool.
I gotta say this real quick. Megatron has amazing aim. He just does he dead shots it. He didn't even like try to aim it. He's like push it up, boom, and shoots the thing out of orbit.
It's like, and so at this point, I was like, well, is that why he built it? He just wanted to blow the satellite up. He just built the weapon to blow the satellite.
Dude, he is a villain. It's a big ray gun.
Oh yeah,
it's like Ming the Merciless. Ming the Merciless would have a big ray gun. I mean, anyone would have a big ray gun. Dr. Evil would have a big ray gun like this.
Well, no, I thought that at that point, to me, in my brain, I watched it. I was like, oh, the whole reason that he built it was just to destroy that Autobot satellite. Like, it's like, well, all right, well, we've taken care of that. I don't need this stupid ray gun anymore.
See, that's the thing. No, he wants it more.
But it blows up. But now it blows up. It blows up because the frame is bad. And
he's that Peruvian steel, and it melts.
Dude, so Starscream throws Thundercracker under the bus, and
this is great.
So Megatron gets so mad, he backs into him off this pyramid and knocks him like off of this is like a 500 foot tall pyramid, and he just knocks him down. And so Thundercracker, despite being a jet who can fly,
falls.
And can also fly in robot form, he falls all the way to the ground. Like, he's just humiliated.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Tim brought that up in the Discord. Like, why do the Decepticons forget they can fly? Like, dude, they like, it's like almost that you got the wind knocked out. I'm like, oh crap, I'm falling, and they hit the ground. Like, oh wait, I can actually fly. Let me get back up there.
No, I think what it is this. I think that it's performative, because like,
it doesn't really drama queens.
Well, because like, okay, Megatron just had a meltdown. He just had a fit that something broke, right? Yeah. And so he needs to take it out on somebody. So he's pretty strong. He's one of the strongest Transformers, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna hit Thundercracker, and Thundercracker apparently is tougher than Optimus Prime, because he can fall down the side of a mountain and not be completely destroyed, right? So he's gonna take the hit. He's just gonna fall down and be like, oh yeah, I'm humiliated. And then he gets up, he dusts himself off. He's like, man, yeah, Megatron really put me in my place. And so Megatron feels like he laid out some discipline, and Thundercracker's like, all right, dude, whatever.
So what you're telling me is they're doing it to make Megatron feel better,
right? Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can see that.
They're just placating his ego. Is all they're doing.
Yeah, I could see that. That makes a lot more sense. They all kind of like, okay, let him have his tantrum. Yeah. Okay, after this though, Megatron tells Skywarp to watch Thundercracker and Starscream. They're gonna stay here and guard the thing. He is like, puts Skywarp in charge. Skywarp does this little laugh. He just lets this little, like, he just has the funniest joke in his head. He just like laughed about it suddenly.
Oh, cause you know why? Because he knows that the second Megatron leaves, the Starscream's just gonna have an absolute tantrum about the whole thing.
He does.
He's like, he is, dude, Starscream. Like, see, that's what I want to see. That's the outtake I want to see. I want to see like 30 minutes of just Starscream, just like
kicking rocks,
just having a fit, and and there's meanwhile there's there's small town Yankee steelworker, Thundercracker over there that's like, sorry, dude, I didn't know. So,
well, okay, the best part about this is they are like three brothers who beat each other up constantly and hate each other. They really are. Like, mom's mad at y'all. I'm gonna watch them be in charge. That's exactly what this feels like. It's fantastic. It like Rumble's the kid next door who they always pick on.
Who can make this show? This is the show that I want to see.
Oh God.
Oh man. So we go to this Peruvian village, which we don't know that it's Peru yet. I was worried. I was like, oh man, we're gonna get some ethnic stereotypes here.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure. I was like, because at first I was like, I guess we're in Central America or South America. I'm not sure where we are. We get the stock character of the old grandmother who believes that the gods are returning because there's cosmic energy shooting into the sky. And then we get the realistic young girl who doesn't believe in the gods and tries to placate grandmother's ego, and but yet she's also somehow worried about the crystals getting stolen because she knows that they're magic.
So yeah, this is why is it she's the only one in the village who looks like she belongs in the Mysterious Cities of Gold, that old cartoon on Nickelodeon. She's got the big medallion on her headdress, and she looks like she's the richest person in that village. They're all wearing rags.
Oh yeah, no, she's totally from like a fantasy novel or something.
Oh
she's,
yeah,
it was real weird. She's like
great English.
Perfect, perfect. And despite being in an isolated Peruvian village, yeah, that was really bizarre. And I was waiting for that to go into some places I didn't really want it to go to. But so yeah,
so
we cut to oh no, go ahead.
No, I think we're like right where are you going? Like we cut to the Arctic. And Sideswipe is Jack hammering the ice, and Wheeljack's hanging out there. Just the two of them are up there. Okay, so back up a little bit. This was supposed to premiere right after Fire in the Sky. So like he crashes, and they all like say, "Well, he's dead now. See you later." But this
right because they're fishing Skyfire out of the frozen lake.
Yeah, so this
where they left him, and
yeah, so you can see season one's all jacked up and like backwards and forwards. But so yeah, we're going like 3 episodes later. They're digging about the ice. Like, all right, man, we need your help. So I hope you're not dead. They take him.
But Optimus Prime said he was dead. He was like, well, he'll never be dead as long as freedom exists.
I guess freedom doesn't exist anymore.
I guess he's not dead. I don't know, man.
Well, he does. No, it does exist. Sorry,
he does. It does exist. So yeah.
Yes.
So they fish him out of the frozen lake and warm him up a little bit. And he feels fine. He just needs a little hot chocolate and a little hot chocky, and he's all better.
So and I love it. Like Wheeljack, he just uses his magnetic shell gun or whatever, the most powerful weapon on the Autobot side.
Right.
He just like heats them up. There you go. Melt you a little bit.
He just puts it on low power.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. He uses defrost setting.
Yeah. Which we established that it has. I think the last episode that he has that. So Cliff Jumper. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So we go back to Megatron and Soundwave and these guys, and Brawn calls Soundwave a dipstick tape deck, which say that 3 times fast. You can't do it. That was some silliness.
There's the best scene in this episode right then, though. He rides Soundwave like Slim Pickens on a bomb into the rock wall. Yeehaw!
Yeah, it does. So there's a big brawl here, and Soundwave's kind of knocked to the ground. He's prone, right? Yeah. And so Brawn has him pinned down, and he's sitting on him. Yeah. And he's just loungily sitting on it because Soundwave's a big dude. He's a bigger Decepticon, and Brawn, despite being a truck, is still, I guess, because he's like a mini robot. The toy is small, right?
I so feeling he's dense. He's like a collapsed star. He's like real small but really heavy. I don't know.
Well, he's the strongest Transformer.
He is.
He's the strongest Autobot, right?
Yes.
I do know. I don't know how I know that, but
his name is Brawn.
But so anyway, but this reminded me of this weird thing from the age from back when I probably should have been watching this show. Okay. So I mentioned last week about the guy that lived down the street from me that would mispronounce everything. The guy that said Devastor instead of Devastator, and mispronounced the word Astro somehow. But there was another dude that lived in this same neighborhood that, man, I mean, I can't really put this delicately, man. Like the dude was not bright at all. Like the opposite of the other guy, who was pretty smart, but just said things. He just said things wrong. And this guy was actually not terribly intelligent. Like seriously, one time I was showing him how to play Dungeons and Dragons, and he's looking at his character sheet, and he looks through the stats, like he's like, oh, strength and all this, and he asked me straight up, "Hey, what does intelligence mean?" Like we were probably like 12. I was like, I don't know, man. But anyway, so I'm sorry for the tangent. But Braun's sitting on. No, hold on. There's more to it. But
please.
Braun's sitting on Soundwave reminded me of this guy one time. Like we're talking, I don't know what we're talking about, but he goes, "Hey, man, you know how people say that if you get in a fight with a fat person that they'll just sit on you? Well, that's not right. Like they won't really do that." Like, what? So yeah, just keep that in mind. If you ever get in a fight with a fat person, they won't really sit on you. It was like some like measurable behavior. Like it was like you're watching like Wild Kingdom or something, and he's all like, "Oh,
the
see,
fat person will not sit on you."
Right. It was really weird. So,
God,
yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry for that.
I'm thinking of that True Facts thing on YouTube. The large person, when you fight them, they will not sit on you. That is
maybe
important
maybe people should do that. Maybe that needs to be like an actual thing. So
it was a tricky kid. So yeah. Anyways,
so was it Cliff Jumper that was hanging out with Braun here? Was it
No, it's not Cliff Jumper. It was Wind Charger. Sorry.
Yeah, so he takes off, he dips out, and Braun sticks around and fights Megatron and Soundwave. Like, he's a brave guy here, and they're just like they're blasting him, dude. They're like they're just unloading on him, and Megatron does that cool thing where he transforms into the gun, and Soundwave uses him as a gun, which I know that for episode after episode after episode, I hated on that thing where it was like, oh man, he's big and then he's small and he's he changes size. Now I've come to love this whole thing. Like I love when this happens now. Like anytime somebody uses it.
See, you're getting converted slowly. It's kind of nice to watch.
But the way they animated it though, like the pose that Soundwave was in, it was really cool. It was like kind of like he was like kind of a skewed angle, and he had the cool like almost like head on kind of shot. It was real cool. It was real like I don't know, man.
This episode is kind of nice. They had some not great animation, but they also had some really dynamic poses and really nice animation styles in this. This first season is pretty notorious for that. There's some episodes that are just badly animated, somewhere that are great, and some have these just fantastic dynamic scenes like this. Anyway, sorry.
No, I didn't think anything was bad in this episode as far as animation goes. It was all right, but nothing. Nothing was
wrong, but nothing bad.
Yeah, nothing was super. Yeah, nothing really stuck out. But somebody gets called a pile of piston dust, and I like that.
Glad you do.
Yeah.
Man, so Braun and Windcharger are taking off. They're escaping out of this. They pull this Fast and Furious maneuver into Skyfire. He's flying, and he opens the bay doors, and like I can hear like Vin Diesel going family, and they drive into the cargo bay, and he locks up and he flies off. It was the best thing. Like, that was great, man. That's gonna be in Fast and Furious 12 or something.
Oh that was pretty cool, because it was real kind of awkward the way it was animated, but it ended up being pretty cool. So yeah, and then they fly back, and Skyfire flies back to the Ark, and he's even bigger now. He's even huger. Like and everybody's loading up on him. Everybody's loading up, and then next stop, Peru.
When they deplane, tell me you saw this. Optimus is talking, and he's patting Skyfire on the nose like he's a good dog, good boy. He's just like patting him, like, yeah. You did good. Yeah, they're all deplaning, and he's over like, yeah, good job. All right. Like, he's such a good boy. He's going to get a treat.
God.
It was really weird. I couldn't understand. There's no dialogue to explain what he was doing. It was just like, hey, thanks for your help. Pat.
Somebody thought it was cool and funny. So,
yeah. I did.
All right.
So, yeah, anyways, we are in Peru.
Next stop, Peru. We are in Peru, and Peru is also a very excellent beverage from France, according to the movie Better Off Dead. So,
really,
you don't remember that part?
I don't remember
where John Cusack's mom had like the dinner party for the French exchange student, and she was making all these French things. So she had French fries and French bread, and she had Perrier to drink, and she pronounced it Peru. So every time I see that, I think about and to drink Peru. So yeah.
God, it's been years since I've seen that.
Back to more serious things, though. Megatron and Reflector are pulling some taffy out of a vat and working it into some stuff here. I don't know what they were doing with some sticky stuff here.
Yeah, they were just going right to the foundry this time, pulling the steel beams before they were even cooled out of these vats. And it wasn't even water; it was like goop.
I don't know. It was like goop. They were stretching
gray,
it out.
It was like gray water,
like saltwater taffy or something. Yeah. So the Autobots show up and they smash through the wall. They start wrecking everything. But Optimus Prime, dude, he doesn't even care, man.
Megatron through the wall.
In truck mode, though, he just rams him, dude. He's like He's like a dude. Oh no, I don't want to.
Where,
No,
wait,
I'm not gonna make that
where
joke.
was
So
this Optimus Prime this entire series where he just barrels through Megatron through the wall?
he is.
Megatron's like, he is like, what's going on here? It's like, oh, my fusion cannon's over there. But what happens? Ron goes drives over top.
He steals he steals his cannon. He fusions cannon. But here's where it gets weird though, because so Braun has the, is it a fusion cannon? Is that what it's called?
Fusion cannon, yeah.
Fusion cannon. Okay, so
Yeah.
he shoots Megatron with his own cannon, which is, you know, like that's an ultimate insult, man. That's like that's like in like D&D when you like steal like the dude's sword and you kill him with his own magic sword. Yeah,
ultimate coup de grace.
But it doesn't even hurt him. He's like, it hurts him like a little bit, but he's just like, he just gets up and he's like, all right, don't you ever do that to me again. He's more, his pride is hurt more than anything because his own gun got used against him. But see, here's the thing though. So we've established that Megatron's cannon is like possibly the most powerful Transformers weapon in all of the Transformers as it were, so far. Along with Optimus Prime's cannon, this new thing, and also Wheeljack's blaster. But
only when Spike's holding Optimus Prime's cannon, the only time is that powerful.
That's true.
Anyways,
so but Megatron is tough, man.
Yeah.
If he can, or you know, maybe it's this though. Maybe it in order for it to be so powerful, it has to be hooked up to him so that he can draw on his, like, he's got that like reserve of power that makes him.
He's got the touch.
He's got the touch.
He's got the power.
He's got the power. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Spike's cruising around in Bumblebee. And he picks up this the Peruvian girl. We see her back again.
Oh yeah, he grabs her outside the door and just yanks her in the car.
Yeah,
he totally like
yanks her into
he
Bumblebee.
kidnaps her.
Yeah, just her though. Nobody else.
Why is she at the foundry? Why is she hanging around the foundry?
I was just about to ask that.
In her mysterious cities of gold outfit with her like jeweled headband and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like she looks like she's like related to Haji from Johnny Quest with that jewel on her forehead.
Oh man, you're telling me you don't remember the mysterious cities of gold?
I do remember that. But it didn't leave as much of an impact on me as Johnny Quest did. Johnny Quest was a good chunk of what I watched. Don't you bad.
That didn't make an impression on me though.
Really?
Yeah, it really didn't. I mean, Mysterious Cities of Gold, I used to watch it. It was such a serialized, great continual story on Nickelodeon when I was young. Huh. It's a really good. I've watched some YouTube things on it since. But anyways, that's another tangent. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. So. But Megatron gets so pissed off, grabs it back, and he's pissed at Braun.
He's mad.
He's real mad.
He's gonna blow this dude up. So yeah, at some point, I think it is Laserbeak's flying around. But he makes the TIE Fighter sound. They use the TIE Fighter sound here again. But here's what's funny though: is when I typed it out, whatever I was typing on autocorrected TIE Fighter, tight fighter. So
fighter.
Like dude, that fighter is tight. Oh, bro, it's a tight fighter.
Megatron radios Skywarp. He's like, come here, I need you to grab some of this alloy to take back with you. And Starscream flips out. He is so mad that Megatron's asking Skywarp for help. But you know, Skywarp isn't in a fight with Thundercracker, you know, that backhand him off the pyramid. So yeah, he'll go. So
Skywarp's cool though, man. He's a cool guy.
Best color, I think, of the bunch. Best colors.
Black and purple is a very 80s color scheme, and I very much approve of that. It's very synthwave.
So leaves Thundercracker and Skywarp together. But you know what happens though? You got Skyfire shows up at the pyramid and starts creeping up the steps. You know, the most open spot of the whole pyramid. He's going to creep up the steps with his gun out.
He's too big to sneak around like this. That's what was a quote. That was one of my outgoing quotes like a few episodes ago.
Yeah, from Fire in the Sky. Yeah.
So finally got to it.
Yeah, there you go. But Thundercracker sees him, and he talks about Starscream being this geek that he has to deal with.
He calls him a geek.
He calls him a geek. He did that to Rumble during Fire in the Sky. So yeah. Anyways, he sees. You know, Thundercracker, so he makes a little backhanded deal with Skyfire. He's like, hey, you know, if I you know, let this happen and Skyfire blows up the cannon, then it'll be on Starscream. And Starscream's like, oh, you're making deals behind my back, huh? I'm gonna have to No, he shoots Skyfire first, and then he like blackmails Thundercracker. One shot, yeah.
One shot, dude.
I'm realizing that Skyfire is really not well armored. He goes down one shot easy. He's got like paper mache armor or something. I don't know.
I guess all his points are in like flight.
Yeah, probably flight. Maybe his size and flight.
Yeah, is he strong? Is he a strong Transformer? What's his tech spec like?
You got a tech spec laying around? Very intelligent. He's very fast.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, he's a scientist. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. I guess he put his he's got, what was it from this is from Palladium, SDG?
Oh, SDC.
SDC. So SDC, right, not MDG.
Right.
MDC.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So he's got real low armor. It takes him right out one shot.
Fair enough.
And then he blackmails Thundercracker, like, yeah, well, we're gonna give this to me, or I'm gonna tell Megatron what you tried to do. Dude, knowing that Starscream would have done the same thing.
Oh no, he absolutely would.
Yeah.
Starscream's real mad about being called a geek, though.
Yeah,
he was not happy about that at all.
Because he is one.
Because he really is. Megatron uses his fusion cannon to cause an avalanche, and so once again, the Autobots decide the best way to deal with it is by
boom, shooting
it. So we're back to the whole thing with the Autobots shooting natural disasters.
Yeah, I mean, whatever works, but you know, they save pebbles.
Right, they saved that little village though. They saved that
they do
Peruvian village, so
and you know they make really good soil for growing grapes. It was very very porous, very rocky. Good job. Yeah, suddenly the Peruvian village makes grapes and world-class wine. But anyway, sorry.
Can you name a good Peruvian wine? Recommend me a good Peruvian wine.
I cannot, because there is not one.
Oh,
because this is all make believe.
Oh, okay.
Now let's get into Chilean and Argentinian. We'll talk.
Fair enough.
But, yeah. So, anyways, the Autobots just lay waste to the mountains, rock slide, the whole top of the mountain coming down, pretty much.
Oh, there's leveling this whole place, dude. This is like Sim City, where you're just like chopping the tops off of mountains, so you can put you can zone that for residential. So
we cut back to Spike, Louisa, and Bumblebee driving through the pyramid.
Did they give her a name?
Well, I don't know. In the script, she's Louisa. So maybe
I did not catch that.
Okay, I read the script beforehand, so yeah, her name is Louisa.
Okay, all right.
So a very Peruvian name, obviously, a very Incan name.
In fact, my notes here say the Peruvian girl who still does not have a name is really concerned about Bumblebee.
I'm gonna give you this is Louisa.
All right.
You're welcome.
Well, all right. Well, that's invalid. The rest of my notes. So
done. We're just called here. Yeah, we're done.
All right. Yeah, all right.
But Ravage is following them. They don't, because Ravage is what does Ravage do? Stalks quietly. He's like a ninja. He's like a jungle cat. You don't know who's going to be there.
He's cool.
He's very cool. But where is all this magma? Oh, sorry. Where is all this Jack Kirby cosmic energy going? Because it's shooting straight at it still.
I have no idea.
It's still like shooting straight up. Black bubbles are coming off of it. The new gods are showing up. Their Silver Surfer is using the power cosmic. Everything's happening right now. It's total chaos. But so Megatron forms a new cannon, but it's purple steel this time. So that's when you know it's better. It's villain steel, and he is a really bad shot now. He can't shoot anything. He's like popping off shots left and right, trying to hit Autobots, and they're not even trying to dodge. He's shooting everything around them. And there's a Trailbreaker calls him a megathong.
That was really weird. Something else I noticed here though is this weapon that Megatron has. It's got like old school circular iron sights on it. It's like a reticle, or it's just like a metal thing. Yeah, exactly. Like man, you're a robot, and you probably have some crazy cameras for eyes and a computer in your brain. But no, we're just going to use some World War II like anti-aircraft.
See the tracers in the sky. Yeah, well, I mean, come on. The original one had this, and Starscream apparently built a great cannon, but had bad steel. So Megatron doesn't care. He's just going to build the same thing, but with purple steel, because that's a better steel. I don't know how, but it is. Maybe he fired it at a different temperature. I don't know. By the way, Brawn is my hero. He doesn't just like punch. He leaps at people's faces. This is great. He's like mini me.
He also
You're like here. I wouldn't be surprised to hear him go yee and grab on someone's face and start punching him because he's great.
You're so awesome.
Huge fan of Braun this episode.
Dude, so he goes like Skyfire shows up and he goes, Skyfire, all right. This was cool. And then there was some trash talking, and he goes, ain't no one calling me a robot chicken. And so Braun, see, and I was trying to put my finger on what he sounds like. And at this point, it just dawned on me that he sounds like one of those 1980s wrestlers, but not like Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair or whatever.
No, he was like the guy who shows up at 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Right. Well, see, yeah, he's like Hillbilly Jim or something, or like a guy that was probably like a truck driver that was just a wrestler for extra money, like one of those guys that my dumb friend from earlier, he called these guys plain dudes.
This guy would show up in a unitard and a trucker hat.
Right. Yeah, exactly. He would just have some regular name, but yeah. So my buddy called him plain dudes. Like now I know they're called jobbers, but Bobby the Brain would call these guys ham and eggers.
I like that. It is very Bobby the Brain.
It is
Bobby the Brain.
I never understood the whole thing. So as I was making notes, I was like, I wonder if that's a real thing or if that was just some Bobby the Brain thing. Apparently, it's from boxing. Really? That's a boxing term. Yeah, what it means is a poor boxer who would only win enough money to pay for his meals. That's
kind of cool. I really miss those Bobby the Brain Heenan days.
Yeah, Bobby the Brain.
Those were good days in wrestling. I miss that kind of stuff. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, that's cool little factoid. Yeah. So Skyfire shows up just in time to blow up the cannon. He just Megatron's getting ready to shoot. I think it's Ironhide and Optimus Prime on the side of the pyramid. He's like, he's got him in his sights. He's going to shoot him. And Skyfire shows up and bam, 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 lays waste on those guys. It just does a air to surface attack. Blows up the cannon. And Optimus tosses Megatron off of the side of the pyramid. Mm-hmm. Once again, playing up to the camera. He can fly. He just forgets. I don't know.
He's press slammed him too. He did the he did the Road Warriors press slam.
He did. That was great. Too. Yeah. And so that's kind of the end of the episode. The Decepticons fly off, and I think it's Thundercracker and Starscream are really they're just complaining. And
Starscream had a headache.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He had a headache. He was real bad. But then Megatron goes into this tangent how he wants to be avenged again. This is the second time he's wanted to be avenged, and I don't think he fully grasps what that word means. He does not understand the concept of being avenged.
I don't think you understand what that word means.
No, not at all.
They actually, he says this great line, and he goes, and they call themselves Decepticons.
Yeah,
it was like, you know what? He's disappointed in them.
He really is.
He's not mad. He's just disappointed.
Yep. Wheeljack invented a manhole cover to cover the thing up where
he put a manhole cover on it.
Put a manhole cover over the Kirby energy that was coming out of the ground, leaking out of the ground. And
I love it. Louisa goes, "Do you think Wheeljack's invention will work?" And that everyone's like,
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Maybe.
So they're driving off, and so she wants to hook Bumblebee up with her brother's convertible named Juanita.
Where is this brother living?
Primitive village.
Where's convertible in this village?
Who else? In Peru. What is this guy, like a soccer player? Is he Pele? What's going on here?
Yeah. You know what, man? He's like the brother that got away. He's a programmer over in the capital. I don't know the capital.
I don't know what the capital of
I don't
Peru
either.
is.
I don't know. My stepson would be like, you don't know that? Why would I know that?
No, I feel real bad now. So,
yeah, I know. We should probably research this ahead of time. I don't know why we never research anything or do any notes. So I mean, why would we now?
Ever.
Anyways, that's the end of the episode.
That was it. That was it. So we got Bumblebee's. Bumblebee got real excited though. He bent. He bent. Yeah, he got kind of R. Crumb looking. He bent into a giant smile.
Very R. Crumb. I like that.
Yeah, it was really. He was gonna keep on trucking. That was real bizarre. So yeah, this one was okay. I like that they gave some of the other guys some things to do in this one. Like they gave Braun and Windcharger, because up until this point, Braun's had a couple of scenes and fights. Dude, I didn't know who Windcharger was. I didn't know he was a guy.
Yeah, he's my first Transformer.
You've told me that before. That's right.
I did. He's a cool character. They just don't use him very much.
Well, and like Skywarp got to do some things on this one, and he's kind of the
that was my favorite scene though. That laugh.
it was. So yeah, I guess they were swapping out, wanting to sell some different toys for a little while.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that this is really more like a middle of the season sort of episode, though. This is something. This was kind of like this should have been like a filler, like like episode like 8 out of 16 or something like that, or episode 15 out of 25 or something like that, and not because it like I know that we're closing in on the end of the of season 1. I think we only have one more episode after this, right?
Yeah, Plague of Insecticons. Really, this should have been before the Ultimate Doom, because Skyfire comes back, and Skyfire is in the Ultimate Doom pretty prominently. So this should have been early season.
So yeah, I mean, it was cool. Maybe a little repetitive, It was.
Tell me, Kid Brain, what do you think?
Kid Brain here is going to go 3 convertibles named Juanita out of 5. So middle of the road. Like it was good. Yeah. If I sat down and watched this, after school one day, I would have been like, oh, cool. I would have, set up some little. I don't know, gotten some books and made a little Peruvian ziggurat and had a little battle over it. Adult Brain was not terribly blown away here, but I didn't feel like it was a waste of time. There just wasn't really a whole lot to latch onto with this one. So Adult Brain is going to go 2 ham and eggers.
Oh, nice.
Out of 5.
Oh well.
Two Barry Horowitzes out of 5. 2 Brooklyn Brawlers out of 5.
Coming at you, fighting the honky tonk man is Joe.
Oh yeah, man! Reno Riggins.
He's already in the round. He's already in the ring when they come.
Already in the ring. He doesn't even get to come out, dude.
No theme song. Yeah, man. I'm right there with you. This is fun. I really, this to me though was Braun's episode. Braun was so much fun. He was like a like an 80s straight to video action movie hero. He was just like the guy who has a few quips. You don't know who he is. You forget about it by the time you see the next made for TV or straight to video movie. But he was fun, man. I love it. He gives no F's about anything. He was
real cool. Yeah, he was a very cool guy. What did you think? What was your?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm going to give this thing. Braun kind of saved it for me. I'll give this 3 radiant green crystals that hold back cosmic force out of 5. Fun episode, honestly. Was nothing big about it, but cool stuff. Brought Skyfire back too.
We did bring Skyfire back. He did do some stuff, but it was good. It was good enough.
One more episode left in the season. I really, and I'm seeing that more people are joining the Discord. That's where we kind of, discuss this stuff. I'll put show notes. I'll put I'm gonna start putting the scripts on the episodes in the pin to the top of the channels.
Cool.
And more people are joining. We had someone out of the wild join us, which is kind of cool. I asked him where he found us. He said he was just looking for a G1 podcast, and I can.
That was very cool. The Discord is a lot of fun. I didn't really get to engage with it this week as much as I would like to have, but I did drop some really funny stories about me getting to go food and some characters that were sitting a couple of seats down for me when I was waiting for my food to come out.
Oh, so man,
you guys should check that out. It was a good time.
By the way, I wanted to drop her quick, Jess. Thank you for your patron, the Patreon tip for us. That was really cool of you. You didn't have to do that. What? We're gonna still, she gives us $5 on Patreon. That was really cool.
Man, Jess, you're the best.
I know, really cool stuff. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know it's not a lot. It's not from a lot from you, not for a lot of but every little bit. I mean, because
that's awesome. Just the gesture.
We enjoy doing this. Yeah. I think we comes across that way. We enjoy games with you and like building a little community from the ground up. So, anyways, you said something happened on the Facebook right during the
while we're recording, I got a message on the Facebook group from a guy named Herbert, and he says, "Hey guys, just wanted to drop a quick note that I've just started listening to your podcast. I really enjoy your perspectives and friendship. Thank you very much, Herbert." On one of your reviews, you wondered about the moment where Starscream is flying with Megatron in his gun mode, and if that feature was in the toys, like the whole thing where I was saying how he was carrying him on the bottom in jet mode, like a Veritech fighter Valkyrie Gunpowder or whatever. But he goes, in short, no, not in the original release, but yes, in the 2002 Takara reissue of Starscream, where he was burying the color scheme from the animation, they did give him a Megatron gun mode that could clip onto him in jet mode. He could also wield him in robot mode, and it came with an extra fist to put on an original Optimus Prime so he could hold him too. I believe Walmart currently has a reissue that features that accessory. And he sent me 3 pictures from his collection here. He's got the box. It's number 9, I guess, in that collection. He's got a beautiful example of it, and he's even got like a little. What I think, I can't zoom in very well on the picture he sent. I think just due to the way that my browser is, but I think he's got a really cool 3D printed flight stand.
I love those. Those are great
as well. It's really cool. He also, and this kind of goes back to me talking about rebuilding my computer, is that I just now noticed that the picture he took of his Starscream is sitting on a what I believe is his PC case, but so mine is the one that I built has like the cool guy like glass window on the side, so you can see the LEDs and everything.
Yeah.
Herbert's case is completely plexiglass. Like the whole thing, you can like the front, the back, and everything is completely clear. So this is really cool. Thanks so much for writing in, Herbert. That was really nice of you to send those pics in, and we really appreciate you listening and reaching out to us.
Yeah, man. Check out the Discord on the show notes, by the way, Herbert. Just
please do.
Cool, engage. I got a great message from my friend Jim up in British Columbia. I've known him for years, ever since Beast Wars, and he was I knew him. He's like 15, and he's grown up since then. He works for filming. He films sports games up there in Vancouver. He works on small projects. He films like indie film festivals, things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, music festivals, things like that. It's really cool stuff. He said one of the best compliments, basically saying like, I feel like I'm hanging out with you guys, and that's really what we want. That's kind of I think the whole thing with us. Ed and I have always just been able to hang out and talk, and we kind of wanted to share that with everyone here. So that was the best compliment, Jim. So thank you so much, man. Seriously, great stuff.
That's to kind of behind the scenes. I mean, you and I kind of talked about that. The podcast that we like. It's there's ones that where you feel like you're hanging out with people, like you just sit around like a living room listening to dudes talk about stuff. Like I've said before that I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I like hardcore history. I really, in theory, I really like that show a lot. But it's just him reading the script off, and it's just him by himself, and it can be a little dry. And whereas I listened to another one of my other favorites though is Last Podcast on the Left, which is just just reminds me of hanging out with my friends and like drinking beer and talking about 100%. Dumb stuff. So that compliment is amazing. Because it just I'm glad people feel that way, but also because it kind of validates the plan that we had from the start. So yeah.
So
thanks, guys.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much. Ed, you got a quote to take us out this week?
Do not forget what you have learned of our past, Rodimus, for its lesson. From its lessons, the future is forged.
Who's that?
Optimus Prime.
Okay, I cannot wait to get season 3. Season 3, honestly, I think is one of the best hard-boiled sci-fi in a Transformers show. So I just kind of wanted to see where you're at with that. So anyways, guys, email us if you like, Edhatestransformers@gmail.com or morethanmeetstheseguys@gmail.com. I'll put the Discord link in the show notes, the Facebook link in the show notes, everything in the show notes if you want to get hold of us. And if you're listening to this audio, we also have a YouTube channel, More Than Meets These Guys. Search for us. If you're watching on YouTube, look out for us on any kind of major podcast platform. And I will see you guys later. Ed, I will talk to you soon, man. Y'all take it easy.
Roll out.
All right, man. There we go. See you.